Pixel Fold, probably the biggest bust of the year. And I really feel like Google screwed us with this phone. And I don't usually say something like that lightly. Here's the thing. The phone cost $1,799 when it came out, and it has the Google Tensor G2. Now, we've seen all the great things about the Tensor G3, all the improvements for the AI. We got the extended warranty, 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches. A lot of sunshine and rainbows after this phone came out. And the thing is the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro were only like 2 months after this phone, 2.5 months. So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that they didn't hold off on this phone and put the Tensor G3 in it, especially for how much money that it costs. And there's a whole lot of apologetics. There was a whole lot of people going, no, it's fine, it's good. The Tensor G2 is all you need, blah, blah, blah. No, I've been saying this since they announced it, since Google I/O, and they're like, yeah, because they have the Tensor G2 or whatever, or maybe it's been speculation at that point. But I said from the get-go, if they put the Tensor G2 in this, then they're seriously going to screw everybody. And of course, the phone has no resale value. It has no trade-in value. And really, the only people that have this phone probably are diehard Google Pixel fans. It's not a bad phone. Like, it's not a technically bad phone. It is just from a marketability perspective, and from a brand loyalty perspective, and from really just caring about your customers' perspective, they used a bunch of leftover parts. And they tried to do this whole, oh, well, the Tensor G2 is in all our phones this year. Okay, it's cool if you put the Tensor G2 in your new phone, the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro. It's okay if you put the Tensor G2 in your almost year-old later 7A. But then beyond that, why are you putting a Tensor G2 in an $1,800 phone? Like, we knew the modem wasn't that great. We knew that the heat issues were there. We know the battery life is not very good. The power is not the most amazing. It doesn't have all the advancements for the AI that we're getting with the Tensor G3. And you're only getting 3 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. That is probably about the biggest slap in the face. That one right there, it really irks me. How do you have a phone that comes out that you charge $1,800 for, and then you give us 3 years of operating system updates, 5 security patches with a year-old chip right before your new one comes out that is much better, and then you go ahead and you bump it up to 7 and 7? Like, what kind of world is this that we live in that they would do that? And, I'm sorry, Google, if I hurt your feelings by saying this, but it needs to be said. Google screwed us with this phone. They should have waited and put the Tensor G3 in it. They should have given it a longer warranty. Like, I get it. I don't expect this phone to last 7 years. I don't expect the screen to hold up for 7 years without anything happening to it. But it's principle. Like, how do you do that with your $699 Pixel 8 and you give us 7 years, and then the $1,000 more phone, $1,100 more phone? And it's got the Pixel 7a camera in it. It's got a cropped Pixel 7a camera in it. Like, the cameras are okay in here. And that's kind of the resounding story with the Pixel phone. Most things are okay. The front screen experience is fantastic. I've talked about this to no end. It's good. I really enjoy the front screen experience. It works fine with the Pixel Watch. Battery life is okay. Like, I don't want to say it's good. I get about 4.5, maybe 5 hours of screen on time. It doesn't last me a full day. I know some people it does. I have some people that tell me I'm crazy that there's last 10 hours. Like, look, if you put it in battery saving mode, if you have it on dark mode, if you have the screen brightness turned way down, yeah, you're going to get more time out of it. But for like meaningful usage, day-to-day stuff, mostly just using social media, texting, screen on time is real heavy. I can't get more than 5 hours. So battery life's not good. The cell signal is okay, but we all know it's not that great in the Tensor G2. The Tensor G3, I do think there's improvements there. We have the enhancements for the AI whenever it comes to that. So we've got all this cool AI stuff. And then it's not going to be backward compatible. So we've got the video boost. That's going to be exclusive to the Pixel 8 Pro. They're not even putting it in the Pixel 8, but it's not in your $1,800 Pixel Fold that's only a few months old. And then we don't get all the other extra stuff that they put in there either. So it's really frustrating when we see all the extra stuff that they put into the Google Pixel 8 series, especially the 8 Pro. And then we got the leftover dinner in the styrofoam container in a pretty package that is the Google Pixel Fold. So I'm not happy about it. I'm sure you're probably not happy about it either. And it's like, it seems like Google is going down this road of kind of arbitrarily shutting off access and features to phones very, very shortly after they come out. Case in point, you take a look at the Pixel 8, it has the same primary camera as the Pixel 8 Pro, but you can't shoot in full 50 megapixel resolution to get the RAW. Or you don't get video boost, or there's like other things that you don't get, which of course, okay, it's the Pro version. The Pro is going to have more Pro stuff, but it's the same stinking camera. I understand that it has two cameras. That's kind of the benefit. You get two cameras for $699. You get three cameras for $999. Like, there are distinctions there. There's a bigger screen. There's a bigger battery. There's like other different things. It's okay to differentiate. I think we should differentiate. But when it comes down to arbitrary, stupid stuff, like you can't even shoot a full 50 megapixel photo on your Pixel 8, that to me seems kind of really bad to do that to your consumer base. And then it's like some of those features you're only going to get in the Pixel 8 Pro. What are we going to get? Like, what is this landscape going to look like? What happens when the Pixel 9 comes out? Are they just going to put the new features in the Pixel 9 and not give them to you in the 8, but the 8's going to be supported for 6 more years? Like, where are they going to draw this line? Because where they're drawing the lines and where they're not passing these features on is really kind of concerning. And the phones are only like a few months old. And then that's the other thing. The Pixel Fold, a lot of features it's not getting that are available on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. No Tensor G3, not as good of a camera as I think that it should have in here. Poor battery life, a lot of systemic things because of the Tensor G2. Like, they at a minimum should have waited and put the Tensor G3 in this, period, end of statement. I've been saying that for like 8 months. And I like the Tensor G3. I think it's a good chip. I think it's a fantastic chip to go into the Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel 8. I think they did a good job with it. And that's the other thing with all the AI stuff. It really does have more of an emphasis on the AI. Like, we've had emphasis on AI since like the inception of the Pixel phones, but it's like more and more and more every phone that we get. So that's another reason I look at these things and I go, okay, what's the landscape going to look like in 7 years? And how much of those features down the road are actually going to be like attributed and rolled back to the Pixel 8, which starts this whole 7-year cycle. So yeah, I think that the Pixel Fold is probably the biggest flop this year, even though it's not technically a bad phone. And we've had phones that were flops before, like the, what was it? The Nothing phone? Not Nothing phone. The Essential phone. Yeah, the Essential phone. It actually turned out to be a pretty good phone, but like from a marketability perspective and actually a sales perspective and the launch and all that stuff, it wasn't really a good viable phone till like 6 months after it came out. But then it was a fantastic phone, but then everybody had written it off. So like the Essential phone, that was considered a big flop. There are other phones that have been considered a flop. I think this one is probably considered the biggest flop for 2023, and rightfully so. It's overpriced. The feature set's not that great. 128 gigabytes of storage. This thing doesn't have expandable storage. It needed to have baseline 256. Like, why are we putting 128 gigabytes of storage? It's not even UFS 4. It's UFS 3.1, or if it's even 3.1, could be 3. But why do we have this old 128 gigabyte storage in this $1,800 phone? It just feels like there's so many corners that were cut to make this TV dinner of a phone, and then all the stuff they withheld for it, and then charge $1,800. Like, I very much was against it at the beginning. I said it wasn't worth $1,800 from the get-go. I ended up returning mine originally because I came to my senses, and then I ended up getting another one because I got $1,000 off. At $800, it's a good phone. Like, if you can get one of these, get $1,000 off, get it for $800, it's a good phone. And here's one thing I want y'all to take away from this video. The phone is enjoyable to use for the most part. Like, it's not a bad phone from a user experience, but at $1,800, this phone shouldn't exist. It should have been no more than $1,300, which is what I said from the get-go. Like, $1,299 would have been the sweet spot. It probably would have sold really well. I think a lot of people could have overlooked some of that stuff. But when you go $1,800, and then you look and see what OnePlus did with the Open. The OnePlus Open closes the doors on people wanting to buy this phone. The OnePlus Open is so much better phone in so many different ways. And then the Z Fold, I think, is a better phone in so many different ways. So I'm sure by the time we see the sales numbers, which Google doesn't ever release for their phones, it's going to be terrible. And I do think this is the bust of the year, even though there's a lot of stuff I like about it. Premium build quality. The screen actually is pretty nice. We've got these massive bezels on the inside. It's got that big wide crease on the inside of it, even though it's pretty shallow. Front screen experience is fantastic. I mean, there's some good positives here, but not for $1,800, folks. And Google knew better, and they should have made a better phone and given us the Tensor G3 longer support, and a lot more premium stuff in here for the price that they charge. So I'm sure I probably offended some people. If I did, I'm sorry. But I think I'm pretty spot on with this, and we can talk about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We can talk about this. We can get into it. Do you like it? Do you think it's a good phone? Do you think it's a sucky phone? Do you think Google screwed us? We'll discuss it there. And if you enjoyed the video, if you like the Pixel content, you're in the right place. Hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.